Hello and welcome to A Book in 5 Minutes. I'm Lindsay Milner. This week I am looking at Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance by Robert Persig, and it's subtitled An Inquiry into Values. Now, this is a 1970s classic. The reason I decided to read it was actually in response to a comment on one of the earlier Book in 5 Minutes recordings that I'd done. It took me a while to get to it, and I kind of wish I'd got to it a bit sooner. If you haven't come across it, as I say, it's a 1970s classic. You probably have heard of it. I'd heard of it, just never really thought about actually reading it. It's an account of a road trip on a motorcycle by a father and his 11-year-old son. But it's also an account of the father's descent into mental illness and what happened after that. And it's also combined with his thoughts on philosophy, art, science, Buddhism, psychology. There's so much throughout the sort of storytelling that's about these sort of more abstract concepts. He talks a lot about quality and what quality means. And I had thought that it was fiction. I think I read somewhere that it was a fictional account. But actually reading the introduction to the 25th anniversary edition, oh, I forgot to wave this at you, and also the afterword in it, it does seem as if it's an account of his life, the author's life, the author's own illness, and an actual road trip that he took with his son. Persig is a philosophy, he studied philosophy, he was a university lecturer, and also was a freelance technical writer for a long time. So it does seem as if it's an account at least based on actual events and his actual illness. And as I say, it's an absolutely astonishing account, and I really do wish that I'd read it a long time ago. There's a lot of stuff in there. Some parts of the book became very deep into the intellectual side of philosophy, which I've got to admit, a lot of it was beyond my understanding, to be honest. But there were a lot of things in there that were very familiar to me as well, on things that I'd read through positive psychology. I came across, he mentions about how if you're absorbed in a task, then you lose track of time and you lose your sense of self. And this is very reminiscent of the things that Csikszentmihalyi says about flow. But bear in mind, Persig was writing 25 years before Csikszentmihalyi published his studies. The other thing that sort of resonated with positive psychology concepts, he talks about the difference between art and science, and which is more important and which has the most value. He talks about quality rather than value, but which has quality. And what I kind of sensed from part of his theory was that he feels that things need that classical quality or classical understanding. What he calls classical understanding is of the form, the underlying form of something, and the romantic understanding is the appreciation at a surface level of the value of something, of its beauty, its form, at a superficial level. And what he says is that you need both. You need to have true quality, you need to have classical quality and romantic quality. And a lot of that sort of reminded me of things that Cal Newport said in So Good They Can't Ignore You, about craftsmanship and mastery. The book is a lot about what's wrong in the world, you know, the sort of descent into technological things and how people don't care about things, and the nature of work and how work is drudgery, and, you know, people are going through the motions. So there's a lot of social commentary that was obviously relevant in the 1970s, but I think it still seems very, if not more so, relevant now. So there's so much in here. I can't really do justice to the content of it in a few minutes. It feels like a book that I'd want to reread again and again, because the insights that are in there, so much of it resonated with me. But as I say, there were certain parts of it that I felt had gone over my head, so maybe worth another try to see if I can get a greater understanding of those. But would I recommend it? Absolutely, 100%. If you have any interest in the meaning of life, you know, craftsmanship, enjoying your work, philosophy, psychology, then absolutely this is 100% worth a read. It's also very moving, because the outcome, I think, for Persig was probably not too bad, but obviously he had a lot of sadness in his life in those early days, and the outcome for his son wasn't great either, unfortunately. So there is like a level of sadness attached to it, but absolutely I can't recommend it highly enough. That is Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, an Inquiry into Values by Robert Persig. If you like my content, then please do subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like this video and make a comment. Have you read this book? What did you think of it? I'd love to see what you think of it. Until next time, I'm Lindsay Milner. Bye.